Well, my friends, I definitely made a big mistake this winter. You may recall, I got a new way of doing my sand for the wintertime. This summer, I started using those big old dirt bags with my pallet forks. And then I'd put the bag out by my generator or my wood stack. However, I wasn't paying attention, and of course the winter carried on, and I went to try to get some sand this morning, and that bag is frozen stiff down under about 1.5 feet to 2 feet of snow, and the sand is soaking wet and frozen as well. Pretty foolish oversight, but 100% my fault. I just wasn't paying attention. Now, over the last couple of winters, a number of you good folks have offered me suggestions and suggested that I build some kind of a box or an enclosure or a container or some kind of a structure on the property where I can keep my sand dry and accessible throughout the winter. Of course, I wish I'd listened to you now, but I think it's time I did. I think it's time to add another project to the list for the summertime. So, we've got a good 10 to 12 feet back here this way, and a good 7 or 8 feet back that I can play with. And I was also thinking that maybe just instead of only building something to contain my sand, maybe it's time to do kind of a bit of a little woodshed here. Something that'll maybe hold a bush cord or so of wood, as well as whatever box or container I can get my sand in. And since you good subscribers have always been kind with a lot of advice and suggestion and sharing experience, I thought maybe there's probably a few of you that have built your own woodshed or, lean-to or whatever you want to call it out in the back of your property. And I thought maybe before I start the project, I might ask for your consideration to maybe send me some of those suggestions. So I thought I'd ask if you have the time, and if you've built one of these lean-tos or woodsheds on your property or something similar, or have some ideas for me, I'd really love to hear them. And what I'm thinking is, I'm not looking for anything that's too fancy or big and elaborate. I just want something that's well built, simple, something I can get a bush cord of wood into, as well as have some kind of an area in there that I can keep my sand nice and dry for the wintertime. And hey, don't forget, I'm not very mechanical at all, and I'm certainly no carpenter, so any type of simple, well-built design, something that I could do, and probably my neighbor Guy will give me a hand this summer, would be really appreciated. Maybe some of the dimensions, what you did underneath for foundation, whether it was gravel or blocks, or how you put it on the ground. Just some of that simple stuff, and I'd love to see a picture or two if you have it handy. So if you had the time to help me out, that would be great. If you could send those details and that outline and maybe those pictures to the email address you see below me on the screen, I'd really appreciate it. And as usual, I want to say thanks. So what I thought I'd do is I'm going to leave that email address open to receive your suggestions or your advice up until March 31st, 2020. After that, I'll probably sit down with my neighbor Guy. We'll go through some of those things. Hopefully, I'll get some good ideas that I can use to try to design my own. And then what we'll do is I'll take all the names of the good folks that had the time to send in those suggestions or that information, and we'll pick a name, and I'll send you a little thank you. So I put together a little firewood starter kit. My favorite forestry helmet, a pair of chainsaw gloves with ballistic nylon on the left hand. And hey, we never go out to the forest without a Mingo marker. And no thank you gift is ever complete unless you've got a GP Outdoors t-shirt. So the contest, so to speak, or the gift giveaway, kind of follows the same principles as the last few contests I did. Unfortunately, it's only open to folks that are in Canada and the continental US. I'll take the suggestions I receive up until March 31st, 2020, and then from there we'll throw the names in a hat. I'll pick a name and I'll ship you out your thank you gift. So thanks again in advance for helping me out. I'm really looking forward to this project. I'd love to get something back there that cleans that up a bit for me, as well as looks after me so I don't end up with the same trouble next winter. If you like the channel, please click subscribe, hit the like button, and if you want to know when I'm posting more videos, just click that little bell. Have a great week with your families. I'll see you again on the next one. Cheers.